Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for May 21st, 2025. It's Season 4, Episode 141. I'm Mayor Watt. I run ohmTown.com. The sentient AI is not available today. But today we're going to talk about 10 news articles, some interesting news, non sequitur news that I've read today. It's over in ohmTown.com, and then we aggregate 10 articles from the expanse of everything that gets aggregated into ohmTown.com. Today we're going to be talking about Memorial Day travel, Airborne Bad Bat Tour, anti-cancer benefits of weight loss drugs, no more player loyalty, none there, a national parking platform, where the stolen iPhones go, blood donations needed, and Onlyfans for saving endangered species, the spy who came in from the cold, and an AI-generated summer reading list. That and a little bit of snark, probably. Next on Non Sequitur News. See ya. All right, folks. There's subscribe to earn drops here on Twitch. So go to twitch.tv/ohmTown and you can subscribe to earn drops. That's what it says here. Get rewards by purchasing or gifting subscriptions to ohmTown's channel while they're live in any category. All right. Well, look at that. We'll have to do that. All right. If you want today's show notes, you can hit !NSN in the chat over on Twitch. On YouTube, it is already published, embedded in the show notes, so you can check them out there. Click on them there. That'll take you to the articles that we aggregate over in ohmTown. First one is 5. It sounds like a OnlyFans ad. 5 hot Memorial Day travel destinations in your area, according to Kayak, and 5 quickly getting cheaper. I haven't actually read this, so it is an article over at qz.com, Quartz, and it's written by Ben Kesslin. Says the deck statement says there's still time to book a last-minute flight if you're looking for a holiday weekend getaway. Around 45.1 million people are planning to hit the road or catch a flight, the agency says. That's AAA. But where are they going? There's a slideshow. Let's start the slideshow. I'm just going to do list slides, and we're going to look at this list here. So the 5th most popular city is Denver, Colorado. The 4th is Salt Lake City, Utah. The 3rd, Portland, Oregon. The 2nd, Indianapolis, Indiana. And the most popular city, Tampa, Florida. I bet it's Memorial Day. People going to the beach. So a tie for 3rd is Greenville, South Carolina. A tie, 3rd most discounted. So 3rd most discounted city is Greenville, South Carolina, Des Moines, Iowa, and Pensacola, Florida. The 2nd most discounted city is Richmond, Virginia, and the most discounted is Spokane, Washington, which, having spent considerable time in Spokane, Washington, all right. I'll just say I agree to disagree. The next article is a U.S. family has been infected with an airborne fungal disease after touring bat-filled caves. For fans of The Last of Us Season 2, this real-life fungal outbreak might feel uncomfortably familiar. The article is over at Gizmodo. Margarita Bossy, put the article together. It says, a family vacation to Costa Rica turned sour after 12 of 13 relatives developed symptoms of a fungal lung infection following an excursion through bat-filled caves. In Season 2 of The Last of Us, the cordyceps fungus, spoiler alert, becomes airborne, meaning the fungal infection can spread not just through bites, but also when humans inhale its spores. And while the TV show is highly fictitious, airborne fungi are certainly not. U.S. family knows this better than most, since 12 of their families became ill after touring a bat cave in Costa Rica. Here in ohmTown, we just refer to it as a bad bat situation. And I won't get into all of the stuff, but during a vacation in Costa Rica in December of last year, 12 of 13 family members toured the bat colonized Venado Caves, an ancient cave system and popular tourist destination. This essentially meant crawling through bat poop for 2 hours, and when they returned to the US, everyone except the one family member who hadn't toured the cave became ill to varying degrees. Fever, headache, muscle pain, night sweats, respiratory problems, and gastrointestinal issues. So either they crawled a bat-filled cave or they saw my last paycheck. All right, let's keep on moving. The next article is over in Technology Today. Scientists discover anti-powerful. Scientists discover powerful anti-cancer benefits of popular weight loss drugs. This is something that I have been kind of supporting the discussion of, because GLP-1 drugs seem to be acting much like a super drug, a super solution to all of our, I guess, declining health-related issues. After adjusting for the weight loss benefits of surgery, GLP-1 drugs were linked to 41% lower risk of obesity-related cancer. New research presented at the European Congress on Obesity in Malaga, Spain. It's been published in the journal eClinical Medicine. Suggests that some widely used weight loss medications may do more than just help people slim down. So if your body isn't sitting there dealing with the overweight and maybe physiological imbalances, so what is it referred to as of late? Metabolic syndrome X is what gets flung around between doctor and patient. Not sure when that came into existence, but I haven't asked the doctors about this, the doctors that I know. So their study found a similar incidence of obesity-related cancer patients among patients treated with first-generation glucagon-like peptide-1 receptor agonists, or GLP-1s, and with bariatric surgery over an average of 8 years follow-up, despite the relative advantage of surgery in maximizing weight loss, explained co-lead author Dr. Yael Wolf-Sagi from the Clalit Health Services in Tel Aviv, Israel. But accounting for this advantage revealed the direct effect of GLP-1 RAs beyond weight loss to be 41% more effective at preventing obesity-related cancer. The doctor adds they don't fully yet understand how GLP-1s work, but this study adds to the growing evidence showing that GLP-1 weight loss drugs, weight loss alone, cannot fully account for the metabolic, anti-cancer, and many other benefits that the medicines provide. So GLP-1s seem to be this great, what do they call it? I don't know. It's a solution for pretty much everything. There's a certain word for it and it's slipping my mind, but they're pretty amazing drugs. And so both obesity and diabetes are linked with an increased risk for many types of cancer referred to as obesity-related cancer, including postmenopausal breast cancer, colorectal cancer, corpus uteri cancer, meningioma, renal cell, kidney, liver, and bile duct, pancreatic, thyroid, stomach, and ovarian cancer, as well as multiple myeloma. Basically, I think it's that because the body no longer has to fight off basically being overweight, it can now concentrate on fighting the cancers themselves. And the precursors to them. There's CTCs, or basically cancer-free floating cells in your blood. So to find out more, researchers analyzed electronic health data for patients aged 24 or older with obesity or a BMI of 35 and type 2 diabetes with no prior history of cancer, who were treated with first-generation GLP-1s for a minimum of 6 monthly purchases of liraglutide, exenatide, or dulaglutide within 12 consecutive months or with bariatric surgery between 2010 and 2018. These are not the GLP-1s in this generation of drugs. So in total, 6,356 participants, 61 female, 61 of them were female. Average age 52 years, mean BMI 41, were matched 1-to-1 based on sex, age, BMI at the start of the study, time of treatment initiation, and smoking status, and they were followed until December 2023 for a diagnosis of obesity-related cancer. So comparable cancer results, but a key difference. Over a median follow-up of 7.5 years, 298 patients were diagnosed with obesity-related cancer. The most common cancer was postmenopausal breast cancer, followed by colorectal cancer, and then cancer of the uterus. The analysis found that obesity-related cancer occurred in 150 of the 3,178 surgery patients, and in 148 of the 3,178 taking GLP-1s. Despite the relative advantage of bariatric surgery and weight reduction, that is known to reduce cancer risk. To assess the comparative effect beyond the extent of weight loss, the researcher further adjusted the analysis for the percent of maximal BMI change during follow-up. They found that GLP-1 RAs had a direct effect on reducing obesity-related cancer beyond weight loss, with a 41% reduction of risk. So, wow. Pretty amazing stuff there, folks. I think the newer generation are going to be even more effective in that realm. So let's keep moving though. The next article is over in, pardon me, had to check something. The next article is over in Wanted, but it's sourced from, I think it's Pocket Lint, but let's see. PlayStation Stars was never the most widely adopted loyalty program, with a confusing level-based system and a combination of monetary points and digital collectibles, and most users were happy to ignore. And still, the service did have its fans, but PlayStation just canceled its loyalty program. Unfortunately, however, Sony has announced that PlayStation Stars, which has only existed for 3 years, is being phased out. So if you have a PlayStation Stars account, here's what you need to know. According to pocket-lint.com, Amanda Kondology, you can earn points for a little while longer. Redemptions will end next year at some point. Any points that you've acquired on or before the date, November 2nd, 2026, after which all points from the program will expire. So Sony will introduce another loyalty program. Don't know. I think that there's no loyalty anymore. As we explore new ways to evolve our loyalty program efforts for the future, we'll continue to celebrate all of our players through the various community activities that we have planned. So probably in-game loyalty based stuff. So like I just got Helldivers 2 because I couldn't resist the sale, and the Summer of Stream is right around the corner. I might end up playing that for a while. I'm also getting really into Enshrouded, but I don't like that you can't get rid of the shroud permanently. It's kind of a frustration thing for me. I don't like dying just to die, just to get my body back. I don't like that kind of stuff, but I like survival-based building, crafting stuff, and there's a lot of that in the game. Anyway, has nothing to do with Sony PlayStation other than the fact that Helldivers is a Sony product. All right, let's keep moving though. The next article is over in Hatch Ideas, which is a company, a channel that's all about business transformation, intellectual property development, discussions of strategic management. But this is the national parking platform that seeks to end the hassle of multiple parking apps, because in various places you have various apps. The frustration of having to download multiple apps to pay for parking may go if a new parking platform is widely adopted. That's right, the government. Imran Rahman Jones over at BBC.com puts this article together, and it says the national parking platform has been in a trial phase, but will now be handed over to anybody industry body to expand across the UK, though only to car parks and app providers which opt to sign up. Motorists associated with RAC welcomed the move, but said it needed to be taken on much more widely before it made a real difference to drivers. Paying to park a car should be one of the simplest things any driver does, but things have gotten much more complicated because of competition. And competition driving the price down is really the main ingredient here. So competition breeds more benefit at a lower cost, and it's kind of survival of the fittest, right? So people will pay more for a superior product, but they'll move to a competitor if the solution doesn't meet their demands, right? Their needs. And so it says, we've strongly supported the national parking platform from the start, so we're thrilled with this outcome, says a British Parking Association, which represents the parking sector, which I didn't even know is a thing, but that's in the UK, not here in the States. Anyway, I love this idea. Less friction for stuff that involves the city itself. So where a city is, parking shouldn't be something other than a parking structure, perhaps, that's privately owned. I think that the parking structure or a parking system on the streets and at parks and stuff like that, where it's all nationally funded, should really just be frictionless. Anyway, let's keep on going. The next article is over in Smack Talk. Many iPhones stolen in the US and Europe end up in one building in China. Many iPhones stolen in places as far apart as London, LA, and London, it says here, at London, LA, and London end up in, well, what? I don't understand this. Anyway, let's go on over to 9to5mac.com. Ben Lovejoy put the article together. Okay, so they must have edited their little snippet is different than what's on their page. Many phones stolen in places as far apart as New York, LA, and London end up in a single building in China where they are resold or stripped for parts. One victim, whose iPhone Pro was snatched from his hands in the street, was able to track its 6,000-mile journey to the place many locals in Shenzhen, China, refer to as the stolen iPhone building. Beiyang Times building is known as a place where you can get your iPhone repaired or upgraded, but a Financial Times report says that it's also well known as a marketplace for stolen devices. So they have a bunch of this stuff. Sam Imrani's iPhone was snatched from his hand by two thieves riding electric bikes, a favored method as it allows them to ride right onto sidewalks to snatch phones before making a rapid getaway. He tracked it on its journey of 1,000 miles, snatched from his hands in London while replying to a WhatsApp message, taken to a backstreet mobile phone repair shop a few miles away, transported through several nearby London addresses. A week later, appeared in Kowloon, Hong Kong, quickly transported to Shenzhen, China, and ended its journey at the Beiyang Times building in the city. And there was an apparent attempted blackmail via iMessage. When you put the phone into lost or stolen mode, it can display a phone number or an email address to enable the finder to return it. But the report shows a screen grab of a message sent to an owner of a locked phone. Your old iPhone is recycled by us. We are just recycling merchants. We are not the ones who steal your phone. If you don't remove it, your old phone motherboard will be sold to other customers. Maybe they will hack your phone or steal your credit card or contact your family. So we recommend you remove it as soon as possible so we can restore the factory settings and erase all data. It says this is, of course, a bluff. There's no way to obtain personal information from a locked phone, but it sounds scary enough that it might fool non-techies. So yeah, don't ever unlock your phone remotely. Don't ever, just lock it all down never mind. Anyway, use a unique passphrase, use Face ID, use two-factor authentication wherever possible. Okay, and let's move on. The next article is over in the Mobile Channel. Appeal for 2,000 blood donations as supply runs low. In addition to 2,000 blood donations are needed over the next 4 weeks to maintain the national blood supply, according to the Irish Blood Transfusion Service. The article is over at rte.ie. IBTS Director of Donor Services and Logistics, Paul McKinney, said the service aims to have a 7-day supply at all times, but O-positive supplies, which relate to nearly half the total population, are at just over 2.5 days currently. They want a 7-day supply. He said that a stock management alert letter was issued to all hospitals on May 13th. Restricting issues in hospitals have been asked to reduce their stock holding. This enables the IBTS to manage the limited blood supply available more effectively across the health service. So basically, if you are in Ireland, you should donate blood. And while this is a US-based news site, news aggregation service, and we talk about it on, well, decidedly a US kind of context, because that's what most of the news that's popular around here is. We aggregate from around the world, like UK and Ireland and all across Europe. We have articles, but the reality is that everybody should be donating blood if they can, and that could save a life, including your own, at a later date. If something happens to you, you can't generate your own blood fast enough to keep you alive in some instances, so you need somebody else's or even your own. But there's your PSA. The next article, though, is over in the Mobile Channel. This OnlyFans account is saving endangered species with mating content. Yes, okay. To celebrate National Endangered Species Day, yet another day to celebrate, the Quick Response Fund for Nature, or QRFN, launched an OnlyFans account. Yes, that OnlyFans. But instead of spicy human content, subscribers get Aldabra tortoises going slow and steady, blue iguanas putting in the work, so to speak, and lemurs do their best to move it. Anyway, welcome to Only Endangered Conservation with just enough kink to get your attention. I don't know what I'm clicking on here, but anyway, the Quick Response Fund for Nature launched an OnlyFans account. The author of this article is over at Vice.com, Ashley Fike. I can't even say anything else about it. I'm just going to move on. Now, the next article is over in the Continuity Report. John Le Carré's The Spy Who Came In From the Cold sets London West End bow. The Cold War is heating up in London's theater district this fall as John Le Carré... I messed up his name for the first time in I don't know how long, if ever. John Le Carré's seminal spy thriller, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, makes its historic West End premiere at Soho Place Theatre. This marks the first time any of the legendary author's novels have been adapted for the London stage. Iman Ramachandran put the article together over at Variety.com. Following a sold-out run at Chichester? Is it Chichester? I don't know how to pronounce it, I guess. Festival Theatre. The production will begin performances on November 17th and will run through February 21st, 2026. The story follows British intelligence officer Alec Leamis, who is weary, hardened, and ready to come in from the cold when Spymaster George Smiley presents one final mission, dangerous, deceptive, and deeply personal. Leamis agrees to stay in the game. Dispatched into enemy territory, he finds his convictions tested and his defenses breached by Liz Gold, a quietly defiant librarian whose compassion threatens to thaw his frostbitten heart. It's basically, a Disney film. Not really, but anyway, let's move on. The last article for today's non-sequitur news, and the last interesting article that I've found today for this list, at least. I've read a whole lot more because there's a lot that gets aggregated into ohmTown.com. It's actually causing problems again. Very, very, very frustrating problems. I'm looking at you, frustrating problem list. Anyway, this last article is, yes, Chicago Sun-Times published an AI-generated summer reading list with books that don't exist. Yeah, Grace Deng over at Snopes.com put the article together. While the newspaper published the content, it originated from a company owned by magazine giant Hearst. Yes, it is true. In late May 2025, a rumor spread online that Chicago Sun-Times used artificial intelligence to publish a summer reading list featuring books that don't exist. The claim spread on Twitter, Reddit, Blue Sky. Many posts on social media expressed frustration at Sun-Times, questioning its editorial and fact-checking process in the wake of mass layoffs at the newspaper. So in short, it is accurate to say that the Sun-Times published a summer reading list filled with fake AI-generated books. Context is key. Being technically correct is the best kind of correct, I guess. Thus, they rate the Snopes crew rates this as true. However, the content didn't originate from Sun-Times editorial team, but with King Features, a media distribution company that is part of Hearst, a media conglomerate best known for owning magazines like Cosmo and Esquire. So somebody generated it. It was first reported by 404 Media, while the summer reading list itself has no author byline because guess what? By the way, all of that, there is no copyright for it. So you can spread it far and wide, apparently. Nobody cares, right? Because copyright doesn't extend to AI-generated works. Anyway, Buscaglia confirmed with Snopes via email that he produced the list with the help of AI for King Features, which sells its content to different media outlets. So they said I did screw up, and it was generated by AI, and it's something that I absolutely usually check and verify, but for some reason I didn't this time, and I feel incredibly stupid. So I bet you if you go back, you'll probably find more stuff. There is more stuff over at this article, but that's the nuts and bolts of it. And with that, we're going to end today's I Read Something Interesting show. I mean, it's non sequitur news. It always is, but we title it some interesting news on a given day because it is all very interesting news. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.